That's a sin. Nothing else. A fault. Faulty structure. Abnormal structure. So when our body changes, it will be changed, and we will be very simple inside. But I know this much now, but there's so much more that I have to know. So I cannot tell you what I don't know, and I don't like to be a wise guy and lie to you. The only thing I know right now is that these bones in us have to awaken. They're asleep. And if you don't understand it too well, there's that book there, Ezekiel, I think it's 37, The Valley of the Bones. Read it. And I'll give you a slight resume. Ezekiel and the Lord are together. They're in a valley, and the valley is full of bones. And the Lord asked Ezekiel, can all these bones come together with their flesh and sinews and everything else? And Ezekiel said, only you know, Lord. So the Lord said to Ezekiel, prophesy, ask the bones to get up. And he did. And the bones got up. But they're standing still. They're not moving. And the Lord asked Ezekiel, you know, the only thing that will make these things move is the Spirit. So prophesy and tell them the Spirit is in you. And he did. And the people start walking away. Now listen carefully. He didn't say that the life was in the blood, because that's oxygen. He said the Spirit. And he spoke of the bones. Tie it together. You don't need Da Vinci's code to interpret the Bible. Just understand ourselves a bit, and we'll understand the Bible. Our bones right now are skeletons. Greek word, a mummy, dried up bones. Our bones are full of debris. Even if the Spirit wanted to get through, it couldn't with that debris, because the Spirit wants a clean place. So every time, listen carefully, every time you go down, bang, you put in a force, and you force a resonance to go through those bones. And that resonance starts to loosen up the debris, and it finally comes out through the urine, through the breath, through the sweat, and through the bowel. This is why we can have someone come into our office, and that person can be very sick, and you take an x-ray of him, and he, after 5 or 6 months, says, I feel fine. I never felt this way ever. The best I've ever felt. So now you like to take another x-ray and see how much I move these bones around. And you do. And lo and behold, the x-rays read the same as the first one. Now we need an explanation here, don't we? You don't throw chiropractic away because we had an idea we move bones, and then when we see the bones aren't moved, chiropractic doesn't work. Chiropractic works, but the damn explanation doesn't work. That's simple. So that's why Self-Centered came here, to let us know, with the aids of our spiritual friends, what I am giving you tonight. You don't move bones. You send in a force, and it is that force that cleanses that person up. And in that bone, or bones, there is a particular structure. And that is the primary structure. So when that structure in that bone becomes altered for the better, then the one in the neural system becomes altered. Then every DNA becomes altered. It becomes a chain reaction via images. It's in the bones, my dear people. You ever hear the expression, I feel it in my bones? Yeah, that's what it is. It's that simple. Because if it weren't that simple, we, the old-timers, would have never gotten the results that we did. But time has to change for a reason. And the reason is that now that we have come to the end of the earthly chiropractic, it is time to open the door into the spiritual chiropractic. So from out in, you start with the skin and you work your way in. And once you get in there, and that place is clean, and then we get connected to our spiritual roots, and the spirit can get through, and the rest will happen quicker than a twinkle of an eye. Not a blink, a twinkle. You can't measure a twinkle, you can measure the blink. Immeasurable. That's why in the land of fantasy, in the land of spirituality, there is no measurement. It's immeasurable. How can you measure the love for your child? Impossible. Impossible. Impossible.